Well, most of us will end up in a car crash at some point in our lives. The panic of the situation can often leave people wondering what to do in order to protect themselves. And Judah Zakalik from Peters and Associates is here to tell us what we should do when we end up in a crash. Judah, it is inevitable. It's going to happen. I was just saying to you, I just saw a fender bender happen right in front of me in Chicago. What is the first thing people should do?
First thing, just check for injuries. Make sure you're okay. Make sure the person in your car is okay. The other person in the other car, make sure they're okay. If there's any damage, anyone's injured, call 911 right away so they can take care of it.
And we have a tool of technology most of the time with us in our cell phone.
An amazing tool, right? We can document the whole crime scene right there, any injuries, any damage to the car, but we can also take pictures of the other person's license, their insurance card, their license plate, and that will preserve evidence that I'm going to need later as a lawyer in your case.
Is that our roster right there? License, insurance card, and damage. Anything else we should photograph?
License plate, maybe the street conditions, the conditions of light, the weather conditions, things like that. Just an overall scene.
And when do we make the decision to call 911?
Look, 911 if someone is seriously injured there, call right away. But maybe even 311 if they're not, right? Because we want to have the police come out and determine who's at fault and who's not at fault, because that's powerful evidence. And a lot of times you don't even know if you're injured right then at the car scene or the accident scene. It may be a couple days before you realize that you have a whiplash injury, or maybe you've hurt a disc in your back. Things like that.
Yeah, of course, whiplash likes to wait about 48 hours, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And of course, Metro Police changing their policy back, I believe, in the second week of January to responding to those non-injury accidents. What kind of communication should we have with the other driver on scene? It probably starts with, are you okay? From there, where do we go?
Are you okay? But first and foremost, you don't want to admit any fault. A lot of people take personal responsibility and they want to be the good guy and say this was my fault, and it may not be. So you don't want to admit fault. Let the police figure that out. Let your attorneys figure that out. And then after that, you really don't want to have any discussion with the other driver. You want to go through their insurance agency, or have your lawyer go through their insurance agency and work out the damages and compensation.
So use your technology as a way to really document what is needed. Mentioned earlier, as an attorney, what is maybe the biggest one or two mistakes you see people making?
Well, first of all, not taking pictures. That's the biggest mistake, and that's why I'm harping on it. And number two, admitting fault, or just saying, hey, I'm going to get better in time. I'm not going to seek out help because I feel okay. A lot of times injuries get worse. I was in an accident maybe 20 years ago, and I'm still suffering damage from that today. So you want to make sure that you get as much compensation so you can feel better now and you can go on with your life in the future.
One of those unfortunate topics where we've all been in the boat or will be in that boat at some point, so thank you for the information. And now coming up